All right, what's up, gang? So we're well aware of the situation as it comes to Jasson Dominguez, right, with a torn UCL and him needing Tommy John. He confirmed that he needs surgery, and he also confirmed that it's on MLBTradeRooms.com as well. He confirmed to reporters that he wants to get the surgery as soon as possible so he can start the recovery timeline as soon as possible. Generally, it takes about 9 to 10 months for a player to be a full position player to be a full recovery. So if he gets surgery now, within the next couple of weeks, then you're looking at probably June and July for him to be back at full strength. And again, sometimes you have other situations where Didi Gregorius had this surgery with the Yankees, and he was back in about 8 months. Bryce Harper just had it, the Phillies, and he was back in like 5 months. He also played as DH for a couple of months before he transitioned back to the outfield. So that's something Jasson Dominguez can do too. Bryce Harper is also signed to a huge deal. Dominguez is not. So I'm guessing they're going to be responsible and careful with his recovery, but with the goal of getting him back sooner than later. But it's still, does it open up opportunities for the Yankees? Yeah, it opens up opportunities. It really does. It opens up the door for them to, probably have a higher odds of signing somebody like Clay Bellinger or Jung-Hoo Lee, or even trading for Juan Soto. You never know, which can soften the blow of Jasson Dominguez having a torn UCL and needing Tommy John. So it's a huge blow. It's a huge blow. But at the same time, this happens no matter what. UCL's on the inside of the arm here. So no matter how strong your forearms or how flexible your forearms or your triceps or your biceps, you can still tear your UCL. And Shohei Ohtani just tore his. Okay, so it just happens to players. That's part of the game, unfortunately. Just like torn ACLs are part of football and basketball and some of the things. So it just happens when you least expect it to. So it's a freak injury, unfortunately. But again, to a highly touted prospect, yes. To a highly touted prospect. So let's just, hope for the best and hope he recovers quickly. Spend a little bit less time trashing people, trainers. Aaron Boone, who has nothing to do with this. I've already had people trashing him. I don't see people trashing the Angels trainers, which is kind of weird. Or the Angels manager or the Angels whoever for Shohei Ohtani. It just happens. So why are we looking for ways to trash Boone? I'm not everybody, just a couple of people. I find it clueless. But it is what it is, right? Now, something new to this channel. Not only going to talk Yankee content, I'm also going to talk about non-Yankee content. I'm going to add one piece of non-Yankee content that's worth talking about each day to kind of elevate the content of the channel, because most Yankee fans are also baseball fans, and they're well knowledgeable fans, and they want to know what else is going on in baseball. So today's topic, with the exception of Jasson Dominguez, is Mike Trout. Okay, and Mike Trout, now the Angels made it clear that they're willing to trade him if he wants a trade. Okay, and he's got 7 years, $248 million left on on that 12-year deal, at the $430 million deal that they gave him. 7 years left. Now, he hasn't played more than 82 games in the last 4 years per season. But he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's also the heart and soul of that team. Okay. Now, there's some things here that could come into play, right? His teammate, Shohei Ohtani, having to get Tommy John surgery too. Is he going to come back to the Angels? We don't know yet. So there's a lot of things. And he's already said he's going to speak to the Angels this offseason once the year's over. And he's going to talk about what their plan is, what their direction is. What are they going to do if they if they lose out on Ohtani? Because the fact of the matter is, too, Ohtani's a pro. Okay, and he carries himself like a pro on and off the field, just like Mike Trout does. Now, one player who could affect Trout's decision-making is someone else, Anthony Rendon. Okay? He's been injured. He's basically saying he's probably one of the worst contracts ever signed, definitely the worst contract ever signed by the Angels. He's making $35 million a year to play and to complement his superstar teammates, but instead he's openly, avoiding the media, mocking the media. He's being a dick for $35 million a year and basically blowing them off and acting way unprofessional. So that could also be a reason, in my opinion, why Mike Trout would not want to come back. Maybe he want to be traded down. We don't know if he's going to ask for a trade, but he might. If he does, would it be? The Phillies present themselves as a logical fit. He's an East Coast boy, New Jersey. Does he want to come back play in his hometown, be local. You add him to that lineup with Bryce Harper and everybody else. My God, oof. I mean, I can't see that many teams willing to take on that contract. The Angels will probably have to eat some of it, but Dave Dombrowski is known to be a bold GM and not afraid to take chances. And the Phillies have gotten to the World Series, but they haven't won one since 2008. And you add Mike Trout to that lineup and that roster, you got another professional superstar player with a good head on his shoulders and a unique skill set, and you add it to what the Phillies already have. That could be a pretty formidable team right there. But at the end of the day, I think some of it's going to revolve around what they do with Shohei Ohtani, right? And he could say, like, I want you to get rid of Rendon, or I'm going to ask for a trade. Like, he could do that. I don't know if he would. He's generally not that type of guy, but he could say, let's just eat Rendon. Like, we don't know. I know a lot of fans want Rendon gone, and you can't blame them, really. So, especially the way he's acting now. So, could that be the part two? Are they going to spend if they lose Ohtani, meaning if they just freed up $30-40 million to spend on players? What if he says bring in Cody Bellinger? Maybe they can bring in Bellinger there to complement Mike Trout in the outfield. So, and to get a pitcher. So, yeah, get Bellinger and get Yamamoto, like players that Yankee fans want and a lot of other teams want. Like, he could say that too. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Trout does. And he doesn't seem like a guy who's going to demand that. He's never done that with his team, despite what some people say on YouTube. He's never done that. And he doesn't carry himself like that. He's a pro. So, but I could see him making it clear, like, you need to show that you're willing to compete. You're willing to spend to compete. And because you've got Ohtani, you've got Rendon. You haven't spent wisely. Now let's see if we can spend to get some healthy players, some better players here, so that we can try to go for a championship over the next 7 years while I'm here. So in his 32 to 39 season, so we don't know how many superstar years we're going to get, how many full years we're going to get from him, but again, he's the heart and soul of this franchise. The Angels will not be where they were. They probably wouldn't have Ohtani without Trout, so they probably wouldn't he's the heart and soul of that team. Ohtani's he's one of the star talents, no doubt about it. But Mike Trout is the heart and soul of that team. Just like Aaron Judge, the heart and soul offensively for the Yankees is what it is. So we'll see what the Angels do. Let me know what you think, and don't be hesitant to subscribe to this channel too. We're gonna go Yankee content and non-Yankee content from now on. So because baseball fans are baseball fans, they want to know what's going on. And if you haven't heard about this Trout situation, there's some things pulling him in different directions, and I think it's important to share with you. So below the comments, let me know what you think. Do you think Trout would ask them to trade for a trade? Because they said they'd be willing to trade him if he asked. I don't know that he'd ask. I really don't. But you never know. If they don't make any effort to bring back Ohtani, if they keep Rendon around, they don't do anything about it, it could sway Trout's decision-making. That's going to be an interesting conversation piece. And that's definitely something I want to talk about with you folks as we start to get deeper into the offseason, and especially when free agency comes and all this other things. And I'll be feeding you in on every move in free agency, Yankees or not. So we have a lot to look forward to, as well as the rest of the season. And I hope you're excited. Unfortunately, the Dominguez situation has dampened that walk-off win yesterday in the 13th inning, but over the Brewers off Corbin Burnes. They were no-hit the rate, and he still came back and timed up multiple times, and they beat him in the 13th inning. So that's some work being done to my house. That was a really, really, really situation. But the torn UCL situation, that's got to get done sooner than later so that we can get Dominguez back on the field and contributing again for the Yankees. So let me know what you think either way. Load up the comments. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoy it. And I'll talk next time.